Hey guys, it's Nicky from StealthShampoo, lead caster of Battleborn, and I am proud to bring you guys the second Battleborn DLC character for free. This is Pendles, a rogue stealth-based attacker. He's an assassin character, and let's go first and foremost to his unique ability so you guys can be ready ahead of time to play Pendles. First and foremost, one of Pendles' main abilities is a smoke bomb. Now this can only deploy at his feet at the start, but you can later augment it in your Helix to be thrown across the map. Pendles throws a smoke bomb at his feet with his first skill, dealing 67 damage and 80 over 2 seconds. In addition, it instantly cloaks him, activating his passive corner sneak, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. This is great for recloaking yourself mid-combat and getting in and out of sticky situations, or using it to reposition yourself on your enemies, as Pendles is an assassin-based character, which means positioning is going to be key with him more so than other Battleborn. His second skill, Injection, applies poison to his commas, which are his main weapons, and it allows him to strike enemies for 200 damage, heavily slowing them for 2 seconds. My personal favorite Helix choice for the first Helix on Pendles' ladder is called Cobra Strike. Pendles will dash forward a short distance upon the activation of Injection, and this will help get enemies that are a little faster or just a little bit out of reach. And before we go over some of his other abilities, let's talk about his basic attacks. Pendles has 2 commas which he uses for his base attacks, and if you look at them closely, one of them is actually an actual comma and the other one is a bird skull. There's a little bit of lore behind that, where Pendles killed someone that Benedict didn't like so much, even though it was a joke, and is now using his head as a weapon. Now that's on your left click or right trigger on consoles. Those are Pendles' basic attacks. If you need a little more range, then Pendles has throwing stars when you hold down your right click on the mouse or left bumper on consoles. That's great for picking off enemies at a distance, and it can actually be enhanced to throw 3 stars total. So if you really got to pick people off from a distance, or you just want to poke at people, that is a great Helix choice. On to Pendles' ultimate ability. Miasma covers Pendles in an airborne poison that deals 248 damage over 10 seconds, and while Miasma is active, Injection's cooldown is reduced. You can pop off 2 or 3 injections if you're fast before Miasma wears off, which means that's extra damage, 200 on the base, plus slowing enemies while you're using your ultimate, and it makes for great CC to get people away from you and to chase them down. Now, Pendles' talent Snakeborn is a talent like none other in Battleborn. Pendles' natural evasive abilities grant him minus 25% CC reduction. That means he's stunned for 25% less time by Kelvin, Galt, tossed up by Wrath, stuff like that. So Pendles can be a lot slipperier than other Battleborn. Now, this is really what makes Pendles shine here. A good Pendles player will utilize his passive to the max. It's called Corner Sneak in before comments. Oh, it's OP. Pendles cloaks indefinitely while out of line of sight of enemy players. Pendles' movement speed is increased while cloaked, but of course that means he is slower when uncloaked. That's a downside. So if no one is looking at Pendles, he is cloaked until he's hit by an Umbra Sunspot that has reveal, anything in the game with reveal, or if he starts throwing stars. In combat, you can use Smoke Bomb to reactivate your cloak. So the way Pendles works is you exit combat, no enemies looking at you, activate Corner Sneak, go into combat, do some damage, pop that Smoke Bomb, and recloak yourself. So you are invisible for the maximum amount of time possible. Now, Pendles would be pretty easily countered by, like I said, an Umbra with Sunspot reveal and range increase. That would make it so he can't go near that area without being uncloaked. He can be revealed by, for example, a Rendi's Helix, right on 1, stuff like that. So keeping an eye on Pendles as well and keeping him pushed back will also prevent his corner sneak if someone is nearby and looking at him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and waste your time going through every single Pendles Helix ability. Here's a couple of them, and if you want to see it in its entirety, you can head over to MentalMars.com, link in the description, for the entire Helix of not only Pendles, but future DLC Battleborn characters when they're out, and current characters that we already know and love. A couple highlights. I really like the right side of this Helix. You'll see in the Let's Play videos, I really built Pendles on the trained assassin side of the Helix. And that's because those are a lot of his offensive options. They help with backstabs, damage, stuff like that. So just go over at MentalMars.com, check out the Helix for yourself, and decide what works best for you in your particular team composition. And I managed to snag Pendles' lore page for you guys. We have in the top left, Toxic Lifestyle, kill 20 Battleborn while Miasma is active. Oh, and by the way, I should mention that a lot of the lore in this game, as of the Pendles patch, has gotten a lot easier to complete, particularly the ones where you have to kill enemy Battleborn players, but other things like farming minions have gotten a lot easier. And Pendles' lore is no exception. In the bottom left, we have Hitman for Hire, use Smoke Bomb 100 times while under enemy crowd control effect. Like I said earlier, that's things like Kelvin Freeze. In the top right, we have Commas, 50,000 damage to enemies from behind. And Pendles does have abilities on the right side of his Helix to help him do increased damage to enemies from the back. Bottom right, Word of Warning, Tentacle Slap enemy Battleborn 50 times. That's Pendles' quick melee. It's a slightly longer ranged melee relative to his Commas. And then the middle one, the pitch, deal 500 damage after uncloaking 100 times. That's fairly easy to do with injection or with abilities where you hit for extra damage from the back. And for those of you interested, here's some artwork that you guys earn once you complete Pendles' entire lore. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a quick overview of Pendles. He is out now, so go ahead and go download the patch on PC, Xbox One, or PS4 and enjoy the new Rogue Assassin. I'll be your host, Nicky from StealthShampoo, lead caster of Battleborn, and I believe there may be some intel on the next Battleborn character very soon. In fact, I might already have footage here on my desktop. We'll see you guys some other time.